The purpose of my speech today is going to be to inform. The title of my speech is called Brutal Massacres and the Minds of the Rampant Killers. The preview of my main points, today we will begin to examine the following three tragic massacres throughout history and get much of a closer look inside as to why the following men committed these crimes, which are the Columbine Massacre, the Sandy Hook Elementary Massacre, and the Aurora Theater Massacre. We will begin by examining the first massacre committed by Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. Now, Eric Harris was born April 9th, 1981, in Wichita, Kansas. He started showing signs of hostile behavior towards the jocks and the kids who would bully him and his best friend Dylan Klebold at school, infamously known for being the second mass murderer along with Eric Harris. Dylan was born on September 11th, 1981, in Colorado. He as well didn't fit in with the jocks and the other stereotypes, developed feelings of hatred towards the school faculty and all the other kids that would bully him. Both the boys' behavior started to change. Klebold began expressing suicidal thoughts and feelings. He as well stopped the treatment for a severe depression known as Luvox. The boys spent the year planning their terrorism in advance in the year before, which was 98, calling it Judgment Day. Obviously, their motives were set in stone and believed their actions would bring fame as well as impunity. Now, the boys did have a couple of videotapes in quotations recorded before the year of the massacre found in the restroom of Eric's home. The police found these videotapes and showed these videotapes in privately. And as quoted, Dylan Klebold sits on a lazy boy chewing on a toothpick with a bottle of Jack Daniels and a shotgun on his lap. Klebold, in quote, says, "Don't think we're trying to copy anyone," recalling other school shootings. They claim to have the idea long ago before the first one ever happened. Some of the other videos had a quotation, videos of Dylan and Eric saying that they were going to kill 250 of the people. They were saying it was the most nerve-wracking 15 minutes of their life after the bombs are set and we're waiting to charge through the school. In quotation, said Dylan. Now, as we transition to the aftermath, we come to learn that these boys were bullied throughout their school years. They were bullied throughout high school by the people, and this is how they lashed out on the horrific aftermath. On April 20th, 99, the boys began their attack by placing both bombs in the cafeteria with this intent to send out panicked students out the front door with the faculty so they will be ready to shoot them out once they're out. Once they're out of the front door, of course. The boys roamed the school from about 11:30 to 12 p.m. Gave them about 30 minutes to continue to kill one teacher and killing 12 students and critically wounding more than 20. The rampage lasted less than an hour, with both committing suicide at the school library. Now, the second massacre we will start examining is the Sandy Hook massacre committed by Adam Lanza. Adam Lanza, at the early age of 6, was sexually abused by a priest, and as he grew up, he was constantly bullied and beaten for that incident. The experience caused Adam to suffer for many years in silence. Now, before and the beginning of the Sandy Hook massacre of December 14, 2012, Adam committed matricide before his rampage on the innocents at the elementary school at 9:30 a.m. He murdered a total of 20 plus people, a combination of both children and faculty. His spree lasted about 11 minutes, with his final move being suicide. Now, following his mental illness report and behavior, it was reported by CNN that Lanza did suffer from severe mental health issues throughout half of his life. Following his parents' 2009 divorce and prolonging bullying going on throughout his life, this caused him to become socially isolated, and Lance's mother did cease his ongoing mental health treatment and education, further prompting a relapse in his mental health, causing him to set a spark. His development report throughout the years on education, which identified warning signs and red flags and other lessons which were called missed opportunities. And last but not least, we will be taking a look at the former massacre that took place committed by James Egan Holmes, the Colorado Theater Massacre, July 20th, 2012. James grew up a nice, smart boy up until the age of 12, where he started showing early signs of withdrawal from society. The sicker he started to feel mentally, according to his close peers, teachers, friends, and family. His parents and peers claimed his mental illness had always been lurking since childhood, but it had just started to come out once he was entered in a harder school. Now, the night of the Colorado Massacre, July 20th, 2012, 18 minutes into the showing of The Dark Knight Rises at the Century Aurora 16 Multiplex Theater, where he wore a clad protective gear, James immediately exits and re enters theater number 9 and throws two tear gas canisters, following open fire with an AR 15, a 12 gauge shotgun, and 40 caliber handguns, killing 12 people and injuring 70 more. James then surrendered to the police. Now, before James' odd behavior before the massacre, on June 12th, a month before he committed the massacre, James' life had begun going downhill. His he had a hard breakup with his girlfriend, the devastation of struggling to keep his grades up at school. A month later, James finally snapped, where he claimed he was losing his battle with his broken brain. Quotations, he quoted that. At the time before, he was seeing his school psychiatrist, sending letters stating that he felt like killing people. But James withdrew June 2012 before any action could be taken in any effect. James Holmes' mental illness report states that forensic psychiatrist Dr. Jeffrey Metzner diagnosed Holmes with schizoaffective disorder, a variety of schizophrenia that combines psychosis, hallucinations, and delusions with his mood disorders such as mania or depression. In the day of James' trial, he pleaded not guilty for reason of insanity. Now, as we begin to, in my conclusion, the following three massacres that have happened throughout history, we link these four mass murderers because we can tell that they were bullied, that obviously nobody paid attention to them. None of the teachers really, paid much attention to what was going on throughout the school, throughout the environment, the ambiance, and that's bullying. And that bullying sparks up, if they have a mental illness already, and it just sparks it up more. It's gonna spark up the flame to lash on people and to kill everybody. And so I believe that counselors and psychiatrists and people who see these warning signs that are called missed opportunities so that we can prevent these massacres from happening, these teachers have to open their eyes, and they have to help these students. They have to stop bullying so that these kids don't lash out with when they have these severe mental illness. Instead, help them out, help them cope with them, help them cope with the problems at home, and they will become better as they progress. And you won't need to have any more mass murders and mass shootings happening anymore.